Hello everyone, Michaela Kate here again. I am wearing my locally grown and raised shirt from Iowa, which is where I'm from, because it's hot here today in South Carolina and I'm missing the fall weather of Iowa. So have to find a cheap flight and fly out. But I wanted to talk to you today about the topic of anger. Now, hopefully you're someone that deals with your anger in a healthy way. There's a lot of ways that we can deal with our emotions that are unhealthy. But remember, eventually anything that you suppress eventually will be expressed. And the goal is to express our emotions in a healthy way that helps the people around us and ourselves. So when we're talking about anger, I often see three issues or three ways that anger manifests. Now, of course, I think there's probably a lot of other ways, but three ways that I often see it. And the first is jealousy, because now jealousy is one of those that nobody wants to admit they're jealous, but it often looks like, say someone next to you or in the, office gets promoted to the position that you wanted. And that makes you angry because obviously you wanted that position. Now you're more likely to say that made me angry than I'm jealous of that person. But the key with this is you want to tap into, what is it about that position that you like, that you wanted, that was a desire within you? Because that anger is simply just an emotion saying to you, hey, I'm mad because that was a desire that I wanted. And so oftentimes we see that anger, I shouldn't be angry, I should be happy for them, when really it's an opportunity to say, okay, what about makes me frustrated? Because that's actually probably speaking to a deeper desire within me of why I'm kind of jealous and coveting that is because it's something I really want within me. So that's the first area. The second area with anger that I often see is burnout. And this happened a few weeks ago where a client was talking to me and she was expressing all these things that were getting piled on her plate. So she had mounds of things on her desk, her emails were getting overwhelmed, and she was just angry about it. But she's like, I know I shouldn't be angry about it because that's my job and I'm a gatekeeper for a lot of things and people. And so I shouldn't be angry, but she was, because her body was telling her mentally, emotionally, physically, relationally, she was burnt out. And so she was angry. Everything in her was angry because it was basically screaming like, hey, no, I need a break. I need rest. And so the natural response is to get angry because, hey, I can't do everything. I need to take a break and rest and relax. And so to use that as a signal to you rather than beat yourself up about it, kind of like she was doing, rather to say, hey, this is just my body telling me mentally, emotionally, physically, etc. I need to rest. I need to retreat a bit and take some off my plate or whatever it might be. And so, because really we have to remember that anger is a good emotion. It's a good emotion because it often is signaling to us, hey, this is not okay. What's happening here, I'm not okay with, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally. And so to use it as a tool and not to beat yourself up that, I shouldn't feel angry, but really recognize it for the signal that it is. And the third way that I often see it come to pass is it's triggering an old wound. And what I mean by that, and it could play out something like this, where maybe you have a boss that every time he gives you a project, he gives it to you or she, or, I'm not being gender specific, but the boss gives it to you in a condescending way. And maybe for you, that makes you angry and mad as it would. But maybe for you, that actually triggers an old wound where maybe you had a parent figure or a grandparent or an authority figure or maybe a sports coach or something in your life that spoke to you in a condescending way. And so in that moment, it's actually triggering an old wound. And so a good kind of question to ask yourself, especially if it's happening a lot where you're finding yourself getting angry and frustrated and maybe bitter towards the people around you, is to ask yourself, when have I felt this emotion before? When has it felt like I've been in this experience before? is this feel familiar? How I'm, being treated, portrayed, or even just dealing with my own emotions. And so, that's obviously a deeper one, but it's one that I find needs to be reflected on more often than not, because it can definitely be the case. So jealousy, burnout, triggering old wounds are three ways I often see anger manifest. And so obviously there's probably a lot more, but remember that anger is and can be a good emotion that you want to use to your advantage to say, hey, something's not okay here. What is it within me that needs to be adjusted, or within the people around me? So hope that's helpful, and we will talk to you soon.